Okay, whenever you're ready.
John Dillard Brown, born on November 16th, 1932. Served in the Korean War in the Navy. He started and finished as a gunner's man. We are recording in Shingle Springs, California. I am Clara Garay, step niece to the veteran. People assisting this interview are David Medden, Joshua Chavez, and Tori Fredrickson. This interview is being conducted for the Veteran History Project at the Library of Congress. Why did you join the Navy?
Really want to know the truth?
Yeah.
You want to know the truth? I was raised in an orphan's home, and they kicked me out. Now, so that's all I can answer on that one. And I went straight into the Navy. Yeah.
Didn't want to do anything else?
Nah. That's the reason I joined the Navy was the fact that the orphan's home was real close to the Ohio River, and that's a deep river. The Ohio River is the second biggest river we have, I think, in the United States. And they had the World War II had started, and they let us come aboard ship in a group, and see they had the water was deep enough to bring in a Navy ship, and they brought a man of war in, and the ship was all guns and torpedoes and everything, big destruction, you know, nothing. We had some pistols and some rifles, but most everything was 20 millimeters, 40 millimeters, 5 inch, 5 inch, 8 inch, and it was all fixed ammunition. And that means on a battleship, or what we had another ship, I forget what they called it. It was between a battleship and a destroyer. I can't even think of the name of that ship, but it was bigger than a destroyer, but not as big as a battleship.
Okay.
A cruiser, I think it may have been what it. Yeah, a cruiser, and so they had the ornament on there like a battleship. It was pieced ammunition for the big guns. And now pieced ammunition, then there's fixed ammunition. Now on a destroyer, it was all fixed ammunition. You're just ready to go to war, you're there. On the bigger ships, like I say, the pieced ammunition, you got to have somebody to load the powder in, to load the powder in, and then somebody to put the projectile in front of the powder. And so, we did have one gun. We had one gun that had the pieced ammunition, and that was a 5 inch 38 caliber, I think, or something.
John, what's your middle name?
My middle name? Dillard.
Okay. What's your full name?
John Dillard Brown.
Okay. When were you born?
Kentucky. Elliott County.
What city?
Sandy Hook.
Okay.
It's not a city, what you would call a city. It's a
Town?
more of a hamlet back in the mountains. Not many people live there, not in the whole county. There's only 5,000 people in the whole county.
Okay.
Yeah.
What date were you born on?
What date? Well, November the 16th, 1932.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what specifically did your parents do?
Specifically what now?
Did your parents do?
Well, my mother didn't do anything besides have kids. There was no jobs to be had in Sandy Hook. No matter, the only job to be open for anybody to get be a sheriff or a jailer. The sheriff was normally the jailer, the cook, the whole thing it takes to run the jail.
What about your dad,
That was my dad.
the sheriff?
Yeah,
How many siblings do you have?
2. Boy and a girl.
Siblings? No. How many siblings do you have?
Oh, boy and a girl. You said siblings?
Yeah.
Yeah, born John and Tina.
No. Siblings. I mean, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I got 2 sisters and 1 brother. I had a third sister, and she died 30 years ago, probably. Yeah,
Was your brother in the war too?
he was not in the service. No,
Did you volunteer or were you enlisted?
volunteered.
Okay.
Yeah,
So why did you volunteer?
I had to eat.
How old were you when you started serving?
When I started, 16.
Did you have to go through training?
13 weeks
Of training?
of training.
Were you in good shape?
Pardon?
Were you in good shape to train?
In good shape?
Physical shape?
Better than 100% of them. Because them old orphans didn't treat you too good. They
Yeah.
made a med out of you when you was 9 years old. By the time you was 10 years old, you better be doing a man's work and thinking like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of training did you do?
Training. It's physical ed more than anything. Push-ups, chin-ups, rope climbing, 100 yards dash. It's all physical, you know. Swimming and just about whatever you can think of to make you stronger and healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what branch did you go into
What branch?
of service?
With the Navy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do specialized training for that branch?
No, they teach you the way they want you to. They train you, and there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's their way or no way, and so it's not like it is now. If you get disenchanted with boot camp nowadays, now this I have been told, I won't verify it one way or the other, but if you get disenchanted with boot camp, you can ask to get released out of the service. Now, have you guys heard anything different?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Where were you before the war started?
Where was I? I was in Elliott County, Sandy Hook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where were you when the war started? Did you enlist right away?
Yeah, then I went to the orphans home after my dad got killed, and that was in 1940. 2 weeks or so after the war started, he got killed in a shootout, and he was a sheriff, and the guys that he was after just waylaid him or whatever, they ambushed him, I guess. I've heard so many versions of that, I can't remember any of them.
So For how long did you serve to the Navy?
4 years,
4 years.
yeah.
So what specifically did you do on a boat ship?
Well, actually, I was a qualified gunner's mate. That means a guy that can teach someone how to use one of the cannons or whatever. And but I could do other things too. I was qualified, and so I wasn't stuck with one job for 4 years. I was qualified to move around because of my background, I guess, more than anything. And some guys got stuck with one job for 4 years, you know.
Yeah.
But I got liberty every night in port on one of those, I call them positions.
Rank?
You know, one of the positions that I had, every night until we were in port, I got liberty, and the port and starboard. When you're in port, you on the beach. We call it the beach, the land, but commonly in the Navy it's called the beach. When we're on the beach, I would get liberty every night, and I had to be back just the regular hours as the rest of the guys did, but I can leave an hour before they did, and it's port one night and gets liberty. That leaves half the guys aboard ship at all times.
Yeah.
The ship could get underway with a half of the crew. And so that's why they done it that way. And some of the other ships would be doing it a different way, but that's the way we done it on that destroyer. And then starboard one night and port the next night would get liberty. But me, I got liberty every night. It made no difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
What rank or position did you start at as a gunner's mate?
What?
Like when you first went in onto the ship, did you start at that rank? Or did you earn up to be a gunner's mate?
Forget that one. I think you had to take training on it. I know you had to. It wasn't nothing like a 6 month course or anything. It's a class that one head gunner's mate would get you off in a room like this somewhere aboard ship. Maybe 6 or 8 of you, and you guys all want to be gunner's mates. Here's what you got to do, and he'd show a quick film of what a gunner's mate's expected to do. A little film, you know, showing you that, the ins and outs of it, about a dangerous game.
What's the highest rank that you got?
The highest I got,
Yeah.
I went into the same rank as I got out with the same as I went in.
Okay.
I didn't go any higher. I didn't do. Yeah, I was as low as they could get, but I was privileged though in a lot of ways. I stayed that way intentionally so I could get that liberty every night.
For how long did you get to come home?
Shit.
If you got to come home.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how that worked. Okay, you had again, I was a little bit different than the average guy on the ship. It didn't make any difference for my rank or rate, because I was on a fixed income, let's put it that way. I was fixed with what I got, and I could get a 32-hour pass in port. I could get an overnight pass in port. I could get a 48 hours if we're going to be in port, or 72 hours if we was going to be in there that long. And I could take my choice. Naturally, I always took the 72 if
If it was possible.
if the ship was going to be in port. Yeah. I'd take it. And then my first leave, the third year I was in, I was the third year, I got a 30-day leave, and I went back home to Kentucky, and that was the only leave I ever took. I didn't take it, and then the next, that was the third year, and the fourth year I got discharged at the end of the fourth year. Yeah.
Do you remember the ship that you were on?
The ships? Just that one.
Okay.
Colette DD 730.
Were you ever on Korean ground?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And were you ever in direct danger?
Ever in what?
Direct danger? Like straight somebody having...
Oh, it's not like nobody came up and put a gun to my neck.
Okay.
Fired on constantly.
Yeah. But were you ever wounded?
No.
How about anyone from your troop?
My what?
Anyone from your group?
Oh,
Or your ship?
The ship's crew? Yeah. Had quite a few injuries.
What's the...
Most of our injuries that we received, everything done as a ship, not as an individual. Yeah, and most of it was the sailors' own fault. Negligence or disobedience, for some reason it could have been avoided. If you stay with the rules and the laws, regulations, and done everything accordingly, there wouldn't have been no injury. But it was nothing. You see guys injured all the time. I mean, it was, just uncalled for, but that's what you get.
How many men were on your ship?
How many guys? I think it's under 200. Now we had, counting the officers and the crew, probably 135, 240 or thereabouts. That'd be enlisted men and the officers. Yeah, the officers had to go to either they had to have a college education and military training for 4 years and so on and so forth. And I don't know, it seemed like we had 25 or so of those guys.
How many of those guys were wounded or injured?
I don't think we had any major, maybe a few, but I can't remember how many guys. I won't even take a second guess on that. Yeah.
So what happened to your ship?
End results with it?
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, it's in Argentina.
Yeah.
It sunk. Argentina bought the ship from the U.S. Navy. And they wanted to put it in their ornament down there. And I don't, you was born when they had that, oh, what was that little war they had with England?
Yeah. For the
Falkland Island War, I think
Yeah.
they called it.
yeah.
Well, they thought they had it tied up to a dock, and oh, what was the old prime minister's name there of England? She told the Falkland Island people, if you start any more trouble, we were going to come in and bomb you.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pay any heed, and the first bomb they dropped went down the smokestack of the Colette and blew it up, and there it sits today. That's their shrine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's how the ship sunk?
it's yeah, that's how it got sunk. Yeah.
Was that the first
Oh,
and only
no,
time?
No, we had yeah, that was the first Colette, but no, we got hit a lot of times.
Yeah. Were you ever scared?
Yeah, didn't have enough sense to get too scared. One time I got scared. That's when I was submarine alert. We were always afraid of the submarines because it's a battle unseen.
Mm-hmm.
So you had no, and we didn't have what you got today in the armed services. Push a button and you can pick up a satellite or anything you want to 1,000,000 miles away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't do that in 60 years ago or so. You had to see them to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can find them now without even seeing them.
Yeah. So what's the scariest memory that you have?
They were scariest. I think that was it.
What happened? That
I won't tell you the whole story, but everything is done by a whistle in the Navy. It's done by sound, and then like abandoned ship, you got to learn those calls. Abandoned ship. It's a whistle. It's over the PA system, and it'll come to every compartment on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
All at once. And so then if it's a collision course, you get the collision course whistle and whatever. And so anyway, we were out there. I don't know where the hell it was at then. The submarine waters, and we was awful cautious, and all at once we getting ready to go to bed, all of us, you know, down below decks, and the whistle blew, and there was a submarine attack. Well, you got 3 minutes to get up there and be. That's what they give every station. I don't care what it is. He's sleeping within 3 minutes, getting dressed and getting up there and throwing lead in 3 minutes, and you better be doing it. And so this guy that was a hatch, you go out, you're sleeping down here, gotta go up these steps, and that's open at all time, that hatch. It's not much bigger than that stove. And so anyway, the guy that's supposed to close that, his battle station was to close that hatch. Well, he happened to be walking down the damn thing when the alert signal went off. He just reaches over and slapped the hatch down, and what you call dogged it down. And there's still 13 of us or so down there, and not a thing we can do because you can't open it from the bottom. You can't, there's nothing. And all at once that old ship, boy, it was, we had a name for them, ash cans exploding all around us, and it just knocking the pee out of us. I got a little spooky
Yeah.
because I can't get out of there. I thought, oh, hell, I don't think I can hold my breath. I just went ahead, and all we could do, us guys, how many? I think it was 13 of us, something like that. Could have been 15. And yeah,
So on
there's
the
not a thing that we could do besides just sit there and take the beating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was the scariest.
Yeah.
So on the ship, did you sleep much or not?
No. After a while, you learn how to sleep better. Let's put it that way. Yeah, yeah. Because you always have that when you're out at sea. You always have a wave hitting you. It's you could almost name what the next wave going to be hitting the side of the ship. And what they were caused from, because you don't know. You may in one night you may be one part of the world and wake up in the morning you're totally in a different latitude and everything else. You just don't know, and that's why there's so many. They told us when we went in, you'll be changing climate control so often. A lot of you are not going to be able to have children. It's going to make you sterile, and you never know. That's what they told you. And percentage-wise, they never did tell you nothing other than that. And I suppose it could be true because the shock of going from probably a couple of degrees above freezing to maybe the next day and you're down in the Bahamas or somewhere. You just didn't know, and it could change your whole body system.
Yeah.
So they say.
How long did it take to get from the U.S. West Coast to Korea?
For us to get overseas, it all depends. If you go over as a convoy, you could spend, that means 10 or 15 ships, going over all at once. And that was a pretty slow process, but if there's one ship going over, you could probably make it in 3 days. 3 days, I would say. But the Navy don't operate that way. It's everything's done in convoy. Yeah.
So how long did it take in convoy?
Well, I'd say 2 weeks anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
During that whole time, what did you eat? What did the Navy eat?
Fish heads and rice. I don't like either one of them.
Yeah.
Now, the first day out of port, it's real good. It's good food for the first 2 days, and the third day it starts falling off. Now, I got invited back into the Navy in 1986, 87, yeah, and they shipped me over to Perth, Australia, and I boarded a ship there, and boy, first night out, we got underway just a little after lunchtime, and headed back to the States. And what did I ever get out of the Navy for? Man, I had lobster and steaks. I mean, you'd think I was the king.
Yeah.
And beautiful food, you know, and second day was real good. Third day, man, I wasn't real hungry.
No.
I finally got up to the captain and I just says, okay, that's what they have me aboard to evaluate some of the food and laundry and stuff like that. Why hasn't it changed one bit? Same shit. All these years I've been out, you know. And he says, well, says what it is, when you get underway, that food was just taken aboard maybe 4 hours before we get underway. Now it's 4 days old when you're going to eat it.
Yeah.
And the rest of it's going to be damn old when you eat it. And so that's why it don't taste so good. And
Did you get tired of fish from the Korean ship?
I wouldn't eat rice today even.
When you were on Korean ground, did you wound or did you injure other soldiers from the...
Did I injure the enemy?
Yeah.
I didn't personally get a shot at the enemy. If I did, it'd have been probably a miss. I just didn't believe in that war too much. I wasn't strongly a believer in it. It's commentators, news commentators make everything look so negative. They wouldn't sell any newspapers if there was anything positive in there. People want to hear the bad shit. And I'd say 90% of the people get a thrill out of reading all that, or they get a sensation of some kind. I won't even read about all this hijacking and ship sinking and all that, you know. Because it's blown out of proportion so bad. If they gave me my odds and everything, that would be a different story. But no, I would have shot somebody if he came up and caused me to shoot him. But my battles were done long distance. We were shooting cannons and, you know, over other ships, and some of them, that 5-inch gun, we had to probably travel 4 or 5 miles, you know. It'd go every bit of that, yeah. And now, the battle wagon, I think their range is 24 miles. And, but we only had, let's see, the 3 battleships was left in the Navy after Pearl Harbor. They were all sunk.
Yeah.
And I think it was in New Jersey, the Iowa, New Jersey, Iowa, and
So, did you become friends with the men in your ship?
friends.
Yeah.
Still am. Still good friends. With
So
a lot of them.
you kept in contact after the
Oh
war?
yeah, I had one of them call me last night.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Where from?
Ohio, and Zanesville.
Anyone from California?
A lot of them.
A lot of them?
We had a lot of Californians aboard, and they're all dead now except me. And I should have been dead. No, we had I'd say you got numbers on your. You got 3 uniforms to wear. You got a work uniform. That's when you're out at sea or in port. You're working. It's a Levi short sleeve or a long sleeve, whichever you prefer. Blue shirt and It's got your serial number, quite big letters, this big, and across the back. And then on your, that's a work uniform. Then on your, they call it the ship's uniform. It's a different uniform. It don't have your stripes on there, nothing. But then you have a full dress uniform. So there's 3 uniforms, and you looking at those numbers after a few months in the chow line, seeing a guy, you can tell where he's from. I joined in Ohio, actually. Yeah, it's 281. My serial number started out 281. Well, this guy, he has 281 on his shirt, and so we've become friends. And there was quite a few of us from Ohio. I wasn't from Ohio, but I joined there.
How about from Kentucky?
We had 4 or 5 guys from Kentucky. I'd say California had the most. Ohio maybe the second most, and then I think Louisiana and Texas both had a pretty good amount of guys aboard. Yeah.
How about with your family? How did you stay in contact with them?
My family?
Yeah. When you were overseas?
Well, it's, I don't think I did. Letter would have been the only way you could do it. You couldn't call or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they send you?
Pardon?
Did they send you letters?
Yeah. I can't remember. My older sister Wilma, now she was pretty consistent on writing me, and maybe I wrote first and she answered back. But I probably her, and then my old another sister, she's dead. She stayed abreast of my affairs, and in fact, yes, she married a guy that was on the ship. After we got discharged, she ended up marrying him, and
Were you friends with him?
she stayed married, and he died, or she died first, and then he then died.
And were you friends with him on the ship? Were you friends with him on the ship?
He was from the ship, yeah.
Yeah, but were you friends with him? Did you get along with him?
Oh, my son-in-law? Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you-
Somebody's in a hurry, huh?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I
Do
see
you
you fidgeted around and figured
do you think war was beneficial?
no.
No. Do you
No.
think the U.S. got something
Listen
out
to
of
the
it?
newsman, and it wasn't no war. It wasn't a war.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can't understand, the Korean War went on for 18 months, and we lost 54,000 personnel. The Vietnam War went on for 10 years. 10 years, they only lost 56,000. Now, who's got the worst war?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't, ours was not declared.
Yeah, there was.
It is now, though. They finally got it straightened out. And
Did South Korea sign a peace treaty?
now, I don't know how, I forget. Well, been the North Korean that had to sign a peace treaty. That's who the South, we had an agreement with the South Koreans that, from World War II it was, we had an agreement, it was a protectorate. They would protect us if we got in a fight, now let's say it was Russia or anyone. They would send their armies to help the United States fight that battle. And so,
Do you think the United States got something out of that war? Out of the Korean War? Do you think the US...
anything to learn?
I mean, do you think the US got anything out of it? Just any
Well,
benefit?
honey, as long as you got politicians in there as crooked as we've got, I don't know. This, you know, I'm not being one way about it, but we don't, we're not known for a good politician country. These other countries, they run just as smooth as us. Like hell, you know, you've gone through trials and hardships down there in Argentina, but it's going pretty smooth now, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, they work their problems out. And now you don't have an elected government either, do you? No.
No.
So you elect somebody, he's in there for a duration of it, and he's got to say so. And it's just it's a screwed up affair the way we got things
Set up.
Yeah, it's.
Where were you when the war ended? Or when the US stopped fighting?
I don't know. That probably was in China, maybe.
You?
I can't. I was in some foreign country, South Pacific Islands somewhere. When we got the word the war was over.
So you said you did stay in touch with other soldiers after the war?
Oh yeah, I stayed in touch with a whole bunch of them. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you?
I haven't. They call me from. I get calls from Mexico, New Mexico, Hawaii, California, you name it. I get calls throughout the year from, I'd say, 35 of the states.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a pretty well-known person aboard the ship, you know.
Yeah. How did you readjust to to normal life coming back?
Coming back, I just walked right back to it and went about my business.
Didn't affect you?
Didn't affect me. No, none whatsoever. Yeah.
So, what do you think you took away from that war?
I took away.
That you walked away with? Did you walk away?
I'd have no. After the peace treaty was signed, I had no feelings whatsoever of any kind that I could think of. It's just like getting the end of the day, just job done.
Yeah.
That's about what I can remember.
Did war affect your life?
No. Didn't affect my life none.
What are your thoughts on that war?
Pardon?
What do you think of that war? Do you think it was helpful or useless or?
I don't know who could help South Korea, I guess. It didn't help this country.
Yeah.
It's short 56,000 people.
Okay. I think that's